Hi guys, welcome to writersblockbrewing.com. This is episode 5 of my beer story, and I just received the results for my Irish Red Ale, which I entered in a home brewing competition. My first home brewing competition, in fact. However, if you haven't seen episode 4, where I fixed my home brewing system and brewed and tasted a wheat beer, please check that out at the link below. Otherwise, let's go inside and check out the results. But before we do that, let's go back to the night in which I sent in the 3 bottles for the home brewing competition. I already have selected the 3 bottles which I'll be submitting into the competition. This bottle here is the first time I will be sampling any home brew that I've done which I've attempted to bottle. All the other ones have just gone straight into a keg. Didn't hear too much of carbonation release. I don't know if that's a bad sign. Not seeing many bubbles coming up through the glass. Let's see how it tastes. The thing that really stands out to me is that it's very dry, so it doesn't have a very sweet aftertaste, very dry finish. I'm trying to be really critical and imagining as if I was a judge, which obviously I'm not. I am certainly excited to get some feedback from a beer judge. I'm going to pack these 3 beers up and get them over to Napa so that they may be entered into the homebrew competition there. So here we are, guys, with the results in hand. Now, just to review, this was my 3rd ever brewed beer, the 2nd time which I brewed the Irish Red Ale. It's the first time that I bottled the beer, and it's also the first time that I entered my beer into a home brewing competition. So whatever these results are, please keep that in mind. Having said that, let's take a look. Okay, so I have 3 sheets here. The first one is a cover sheet with my name, and my final assigned score, which is 30. I got a 30. I'll post these sheets on my blog as well, the same link that has this video. Also on this cover sheet, it tells you how they evaluated the beer, how the score breakdown goes. Then it goes into the scoring guide. Outstanding is 45 to 50. Excellent is 38 to 44. Very good is 30 to 37. So my final assigned score of 30 was at the lowest end of very good. Okay, so let's take a look at some notes. The first judge's name is D. Jones. Bottle inspection, slight yeast at the bottle, overcarbonated, gusher upon opening. Whoa, now that's interesting because when I tasted the beer, I felt as if the carbonation was lacking. This probably had to do with me shipping the bottles. Let's move on to aroma. Gassy, metallic, slight malt note. Appearance, she says hazy, light red hue, good head, good retention. So overall impression. Overall clean and pleasant flavor, nice balance, assertive CO2. Next judge, John Lodge. Bottle inspection, tiny collection of yeast at bottom. That had probably had to do with the first time that I bottled my auto siphon system. I went from a 1/2-inch auto siphon down to a 3/8 adapter to adapt to the 3/8 bottling wand, so there was too many places for me to hold. It was a mess. I wish I would have filmed that. Aroma, no hop, malty, bready. Appearance, gushing upon opening, light red color. Flavor, off flavor and malts. Mouthfeel, overcarbonation, thin. Overall impression, something off in mid palate, not complex, too much CO2. Again, I didn't hear too much of carbonation release. He gave me 28 out of 50, whereas D. Jones gave me 32 out of 50, bringing my average overall score to 30, and therefore in the very good range again. I agree with everything which they said. except I was really blown away by the lack of CO2 or carbonation when I tasted them, and not seeing many bubbles coming up and in the gushing and too much CO2 when they tasted it. I do appreciate all their constructive criticism very much. I just like to thank the judges for taking the time and getting certified to be beer judges and giving me these great constructive criticism notes. I do intend to continue bottling and sending my home brews into competitions. I think a very interesting thing I could do now is try to find out who these judges are. Give me a second, I'll be right back. So I found some really interesting stuff on the two beer judges. First off, John Lodge. I didn't find out much about him. However, he was, I guess, the lead singer of the Moody Blues. Just joking. John Lodge is a sommelier, I believe, at Holman Cellars in Napa. He's also a winemaker and a home brewer. Mr. Lodge, thank you very much for tasting my brew, and I hope the next time you do, you enjoy it more. As for Denise Jones, I found quite a bit on her. She was the first female graduate of the American Brewers Guild. Also, she has 10 years experience as the head brewer of Moylan's Brewery in Novato. Currently, she is the brew master at Napa Point Brewing in Napa. Miss Jones, thank you very much for tasting my beer, and again, I hope my next brew that you taste is much better. And so since you've tasted one of my beers that I've brewed, I decided I should taste one of your brews that you've brewed. I have here Moylan's Northern California IPA, and I'm sure Miss Jones has brewed this several times in her life. Now that's a good beer. Please stay tuned to episode 6 of my beer story, where I think I'll take a little inspiration from this hoppy IPA and brew something finally a little bit hoppy for myself, since my previous beers have been the Irish Red Ale and a wheat beer. Thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel to stay updated. Leave any comments below and I will answer them very rapidly. Thanks again, and cheers.